All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the final event in NEF1 of 2025. We are here for the Miami Grand Prix. What is the fourth round of the championship? And as mentioned, the last race that we're going to do before we go on a 2-week break to see out the holiday season, and then we'll be right back at it in 2026. Apparently my voice is a bit quiet. Hopefully that's a bit better, otherwise I can't really do anything about it, and hopefully everything is sorted. 17 drivers on the grid tonight at this Miami Grand Prix circuit. That is one of the trickiest on the calendar to get spot on. Hulman, then last week's podium sitter, capitalizing on Matty not really having any luck with his tyre strategy. 10-second time penalty that was late removed cost him a potential win then in Brazil. How will he rebound at the place that he feels is closest to home apart from Great Britain? We shall wait and see. Hulman capitalizing on that first podium of the season for him. Squidge 2017 is starting to get in a position right now where he needs to pick up a couple of wins quite soon to keep with Tess in the championship. Tess with about a 12-point advantage, I think, after 3 races, which is quite sizable after only 3 races. So Squidge will be a little bit under pressure. Wigan, 2 points finishes in the first 3 races. It'll be all right for him. He's looking for a strong result here as well. Ron Speed is out on track after a bit of an anonymous performance in his first race. See what he can do in that Alpine for his second outing of the season. I'm looking for one of the Williams cars on track because I want to have a look at that beautiful, beautiful car that I believe both of them are running. We might just have to wait a little bit longer as we got the second McLaren of Ray coming out. Ray, one of the drivers really struggling this season so far. Hasn't been able to make it work with the McLaren. But at this circuit where he took his first NEF1 podium, I believe, if I'm not mistaken as well, let's see if he can just find a bit of form here and desperately pick up a couple of good points for McLaren that they really, really need in that Constructors' Championship fight, because right now they're about 40-odd points behind both Ferrari and Red Bull. We have a car in the wall, I believe. That is the first showing of that beautiful, beautiful Williams. It's 1980s Wildcat who's parked on track. Is he going to be able to get that car out of there, or are we going to look at an early disqualification? No, Wildcat is back out there, but something is going really, really wrong. See if he can either get back on track or pause that so he doesn't get disqualified. There we go. So Raven, hopefully he can just rebound strong. As for the constructor standings, SFLY Jamar, who started the season beautifully, is not racing here tonight, suffering an injury earlier on in the week. I'm afraid we wish our very good friend Jamar a speedy recovery. Hope you're doing all right, but we'll see you after the winter break as well. Squidge 2017 then, carrying the lone torch for Ferrari this evening. However, he is facing up against both Tesson and Iwatts, both of them firing on all cylinders. It's gonna be an interesting championship year this between Ferrari and Red Bull. Solman posts the first lap of the day. It's a 27 flat. Let's see which Squidge is going to be able to pop that Ferrari straight back into P1, where he is expecting to finish come the end of about 27 laps around this circuit, I believe. 26 or 27 laps. Shows that I'm not read the driver's briefing as all the drivers are mandated to do, but I'm not a driver, so it's okay. Squidge then pops up to P1, well over a second quicker than anyone else. Holman and Ron Speed, a second and second 4 down respectively. As then on board with Recon 21 in that Williams that is looking ever so good in the Golf colours. Thank you, Codemasters, for delivering these kind of liveries. This is what we wanted over the last couple of years. I believe we got a white Red Bull and a pink Racing Bulls coming up in a couple of weeks as well, so keep your eyes out on that. Be very, very fun to see indeed. So then, Tess making his way through Sector 1. Looked like he went a little bit wide heading into the second sector. 29.7 is his first sector time. On the circuit here, we're overtaking should not be overly difficult. Zemrena's in chat cheering on Max as well. Zemrena currently away, unable to race. Unfortunately, leaving Max alone. He is currently sitting in P8 on a 28.658. Definitely more time in that car. iWatts on a 27.446, just a couple of hundreds behind Ron Speed, and Darren's popped in with a 27.7. So let's see Tess out of our final corner then. What is he going to be able to do in that Red Bull? The championship leader and the man who's won the last 2 races might have even been able to make it a clean sweep in the Fast 3. Is unable to produce P1, produces P2 though with 26.290, and Matty goes quicker than that on a 25.8. Let me know how the audio bouncing is, if you can actually hear the cars, because I'm struggling to hear them for whatever reason. My audio volume for the cars is relatively low. As we're on board with Recon 21, Wildcat having just set his time of a 1:29 flat. Not going to be good enough for anything but last probably that lap. Put some pressure on Recon then to deliver the points at the moment. Wildcat still looking for his first points of the season and of his NEF1 tenure. Say 33B2 was just able to pick up those points earlier last week, sorry. As 1 point for fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken, around Brazil. So at least points on the board for Mr. A33BT. So let's see what he's going to be able to do here around a circuit, which he quite fancies. Recon then has just finished up a lap, and it's 27.707. Decent lap indeed. As J-Mas in chat saying, come on Squid, cheering on his teammate who is currently sitting in P2. Tess and Matty splitting him P1 and P3 respectively, with Ray up there in P4, and this is one of those weeks where Ray really needs to capitalize on the fact that there is no Jamar. iWatts pad player might just struggle a little bit around this Miami circuit. It is one of the more difficult ones on the counter, especially if you're on a controller. We'll see if Ray can capitalize on that fact. 3 thousandths of a second slower than the championship leader. It's looking good then at the moment for Ray 2.5, and Matty would love for Ray and Tess to get tangled up a little bit with each other. Then we have the Astons and the Saubers. Djokovic, Noah, Holman and Mr. Wilco, followed by Wigan and Ron Speed is the final car within the top 10. Mac is just a couple of thousandths off. As there we go, then Mac is beginning one more lap then on a new set of soft tyres, P11, 6 thousandths behind P10. As Tess is saying, big mistake in Sector 1. As he says that, I do recall what went on, but very, very wide at the corner that Mac is just came through. So then, that's a bright looking helmet, that. Bright pink and blue, but matches the Miami vibe rather well, doesn't it? And now coming up to this very, very closed off section with the wall here that you really want to track extend. Quite nice that they've flattened those curves on the chicane a little bit. You can ride them a lot better than you could previously. And onto the DRS straight. He's improved by 0.2 of a second, which at the moment will see him up between Hullman and Mr. Wilco. Keep this momentum up. However, there's time to be found in that final corner. If you can just get the throttle down quite heavily, then it'll do wonders for your lap. I know that because I can't do it. Mac is then on to the start-finish straight. What is he going to be able to do? Got to stick to the inside, closing after the lap, and Macas does give up a little bit of time there. Not too much to make a difference, but he does give up about 100th or two at least, probably by just drifting over to the left-hand side. It's a 27.364, placing him just ahead of Wigan actually, by only a couple of thousandths of a second. And as I say that, Squidge is on the lap. Just started one actually. It's come through turn 1 and turn 2, and now following him through turn 3, 4 and 5. Sorry, 4, 5 and 6. Onwards onto the next DRS straight. Gotta keep this very, very neatly tucked in to the apex of the corner, and he's a 10th up already after the first sector. It's the emphasis of good lap. Ooh, very close to the track limits there is Squidge, trying to make that corner as open as he possibly can. And now then through the chicane, nice little flow through there, having to navigate a bit of traffic though, kept well out of the way, but that can still just be very, very distracting. 0.2 of a second up off the sector 2, and this lap, but right now is taking him straight to provisional P1. Matty and Tess then will have a little bit of pressure on them. And here we go then, crossing line. You see the way Squidge just tucks it in as he's coming onto the start-finish straight. He improves by a 10th further in the third sector, the 25.6. So Matty now poised to improve a little bit himself as well. Tess set to improve quite a bit, as long as he can minimize that mistake around this particular corner that Matty cannot. Goes very, very wide, and that surely will be lap over somehow unless he recovers this. Actually 14 thousandths faster, but that will hinder him throughout this entire straight. We're going to go on board with Tess for the time being as well. I don't think that's a lap that Matty can challenge for pole with. I actually just want to see the next sector split as well. Then we'll go on board with Tess. Actually, we'll go on board with Tess now. It's decisive commentary tonight, everyone. Very, very decisive stuff. So here we go then, crucial for Tess to get this sector right, if nothing else just to boost his confidence a little bit and not take too much away. Left-hander, and he goes wide again, does Tess. Does he improve a little bit further? Oh yeah, he does. Oh, that's a massive mistake that he had in sector 1. Jesus Christ. Matty is improving, but he's not improving by a big margin. Is he coming in at the end of this lap, or will he be completing it? He will be completing it, so just gonna tuck in then. Very, very close to the line, and he improves. No, he doesn't improve actually. Spray improves up to 25.725. Very, very close to provisional P1. And are we on for a Ray pole position battle here, mind you? We should wait and see, because a certain Tess is about to come across the line as well. Improved up by half a second in the first sector alone. So that was a big mistake from Tess, as he mentioned previously. Just didn't think it was that big. He's got an Alpine ahead of him that he's going to be slightly frustrated with. That'll be Ron Speed, who's currently on a flying, it's not on flying lap, it's a 1:31.1. Did that hinder Tess somewhat? It probably did cost him just a little bit of time. That is Tess on 1:25.733. Ron Speed not on a flying lap there, bluntly. It wasn't a good one, if nothing else. Probably should have just gone out of the way. So Tess then, up to P3, Matty currently in P4 with Noah quite a ways behind, along with Djokovic, Holman, Mist, Wilco, Max and Wigan. As for On Speed, wasn't able to hook this lap up. Iron's currently sitting in P11 with time running out. Darren Stahl's currently going through Sector 1. He has a 27.7 to build on. A big field spread moment of almost 3 seconds. Discounting AB, who's clearly had a massive issue on his lap. If not, it might be time to consider a career in commentary, as Darren improves by 21 thousandths of a second. 1980s Wildcat is coming onto the DRS straight. He's down by 17.2 seconds. And decides to not shift up his car, I don't believe. There we go. Found the upshift paddle, and that's a lot more comfortable. Might have given the Sauber a little bit of a nice pull though. However, Wilco wasn't on a flying lap, thankfully for him. As Wilco comes in. Djokovic on an out lap. We'll be watching that with a bit of interest. Mac is on a flyer at the moment, I believe. Coming up to that very, very tight and twisty bit that is ever so tricky to get right. Smack, as we know, just gave away a little bit of time coming across the line. See if he's learned from that mistake, seen what anyone else does. No teammate for him. Could maybe be a bit tricky without a teammate every now and again, just not being able to feed ideas of each other. I don't know if they communicate during the race or not. He improves by 2.5 tenths in the second sector alone, so that's good. We know he lost time as well in that third sector as opposed to his first run. So Marcus might be in with a bit of potential here to maybe launch himself into the Sauber conversation. So I say there's quite a big gap between them. Tucks it in a bit. No, he doesn't tuck it in too much at all. Improves by half a second, but still just a couple of thousandths shy of Mr. Wilco. But that's a big improvement as he's in far clear of Wigan. That's good for Marcus. Might have just solidified his place in the top 10. Here we go then with Djokovic around the first sector for the final time. He has 2:20 to go, so he has time to make a mistake, recharge and go once more. Not more than that though. Still looking at the people in the pit lanes. Ron Speed, Recon, Darren Stahl and ABT outside of the top 10, and a lot of the front runners at the moment. Question for McLaren is, right now Ray seemingly with the better pace between the two. Does Matty potentially give Ray the toe to help him out in qualifying? Or how do they split this? Do they go for individual laps? Djokovic then across the chicane. Didn't really cut it too much. Probably just sacrificing a little bit of time. The nice on the exit. Early on the power improves by half a second. This might just see him up in Matty territory come the end of the lap and put Noah, his teammate, under a bit of pressure. Noah started off the season clearly comfortable with his teammate. Now though, Djokovic's really woke him back up and is fighting for those positions we expect to be seeing him fight for these last couple of seasons. And Djokovic up at P5, 26 flat. Squidge then for what might be the pole position lap, we'll see. Matty and Ray need to find a little bit more. Tess should be able to find a bit more. Squidge just makes a mistake in sector 1 and has that taken a little bit too much out of his tyres. It might have taken too long as well. He's not going to be able to recharge and drive. Yeah, surely he's not going to be able to get another lap in on the board. Even if he crosses the line in time, he won't have the tyres to, because he'll need to push and the tyres fly off the wall here. So surely that is qualifying session over at the moment for Squid 2017. We'll keep an eye on the clock. We'll keep an eye on the red dot on the right hand side of the screen down in the tight and twist a bit in sector 2. Noah not improving through the first sector, however, will go on board right now with Ray W25, the man, as far as I'm aware, fighting for his first pole position in NEF1. He's not going to be given a tow or any kind of help, but no, it's all gone disastrously wrong as I said that. Ray is in the wall. Now, McLaren's hopes lie on Matty Adam. I was about to start a monologue throughout the entire lap and it went to hell. Matty goes wide again. Squidge has not made it across the line. This opens the door. Matty improves though significantly through the second sector, even though he goes wide. How much time might have been if he was just able to tuck it in? Tess is improving. How much will he improve by through the first sector? Sorry, Tess isn't improving. That was his previous lap delta. Let's see what he's going to be able to do here. He is improving by a little bit still. Matty now with a chance to claim pole position. Ray will be heartbroken, but hoping that lap can still land him a P2 or a P3. Potential worst case scenario, it's a P4. Noah has come into the pit lane. Matty, what is he going to be able to do as he comes across the line? Is not a massive gap up to Squidge 2017. 2 tenths, slightly less. Coming out of the final corner, is Matty going to be able to find out time? The car gets a bit wobbly on the exit. Now then, all of the battery usage. Matty's up into provisional P1. Is Tess going to be able to spoil the party? We'll wait and see. He's coming up to those final corners. Ray will be hoping for Tess to just make a little bit of a blunder. It's been a very, very solid exit out of final corner, and is Tess going to be able to rebound and make it another pole position? No, he can't. Matty takes pole position in Miami's second home race, and Tess finishes P2. Squidge with that mistake finishes in third, and Ray with the mistake. What might have actually been a driver on pace for pole position this evening just got a little bit anxious, potentially a little bit too trigger happy on the throttle, and binned it in the first sector. Heartbreak for Ray, but still P4 ahead of Djokovic and Noah is not bad company to be in at all. Holman finishes in 7th, followed by Wilco in 8th, Max in 9th, and Wing qualifies P10. B2 recovers up into 11th, followed by Recon in 12th, iWatts in 13th, Ron Speed qualifies in 14th, followed by Darren, Wildcat and Kit, and we have a field spread of over 3 seconds around this lap, but it is one of those circuits where that is not unexpected. That is heartbreak for both Tess and Ray on these laps. Squidge has placed himself in a little bit of a pickle, but we're going to see those top 3 battle it away as usual. Might Ray be able to stick with them throughout this battle? If so, it's advantage McLaren, and in the championship it'll be advantage Matty Adam, as Ray I don't think is going to be looking to take points away from Matty at this stage of the season. Djokovic P5, crucially ahead of his teammate by 0.2 of a second in that Aston Martin squabble. Holman just ahead of Mr. Wilco for one of the closest teammate pairings on the grid. We are going to be going to a little bit of a break before we get this race underway. It'll be about 26-27 laps worth of Miami Grand Prix circuit racing, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes for full coverage of the race. About 5 minutes. We will see you very, very soon. As we're having reports that someone's triggered the race too early, I'm sure one of the admins is on it, we know who, and we are going to start the race prematurely, I'm afraid. Matty Adam will take the start from Tess and Squidge. Ray, hopefully everyone has been able to get back into their seats, and harsh penalties will be coming up for whomever did it. I'm just going to check that we know who did it. And we know who readied up. He'll be dealt with accordingly after the race. Right then, it'll be a bit of a quick Miami Grand Prix than what we were anticipating. I'm very, very glad I didn't put an ad on instead of keeping you on the waiting screen, because we might have missed the start of the race had that been the case. So let's get everything in order. We don't need lap data, we don't need telemetry, we do need that and that though. Let's have a look at the tyre strategy then. Most people starting on the medium tyres, apart from Holman, iWatts and Kit starting on the hards. It's an expected 2-stopper around here. 1-stopper might just be possible, but the question is, how much time do you lose sticking it out on that extra set of tyres that is so costly when it does start degrading. So then it'll be an interesting race, this. Formation lap going by quite quickly right now. So I'm just going to get the stream up on my phone as well, so I can read the chat from my lovely little chair that I'm currently going to be sitting in. Pending between standing up and sitting down, but Miami tonight just feels like a sit-down kind of event. We'll wait and see, depending on how interesting the action gets. Matty Adam then is lining it up on pole position, followed by Tess and Squidge. The three just squabbling away a little bit at each other, trying to get their tyres in the best operating window. Ray, what kind of a start can he get? Djokovic will be dying to get ahead of him and into P4, battling away for the podium. Noah in P6, followed by Holman, Mr. Wilco, Marcus, and Wigan will be starting in 10th place. Here we go, you can see Matty angled his car quite aggressively towards the inside, and Tess and Squidge trying to cover them both off. Here we go then, it's lights and away we go. Matty does get a decent start, needing to cover off Testo, who's got an even better start. Down the inside of Matty into turn one. Matty just a bit squabbly on the brakes. Tess round his outside, and now it's too wide into the first couple of corners, but Tess takes the lead of the Grand Prix from Matty Adam and Squidge 2017. Ray holding position there. It's a hectic start, but then we have Djokovic, Holman, Noah, Mr. Wilco, Max and Wigan in that order. Tess taking a position away, Holman taking a position away from Noah. Only 4 position swaps on the entire grid. There's been a calm start to this Grand Prix. No incidents so far, thank God for that, because it's been an incident-filled season. We issued a warning about that actually after the last race, and everyone seemingly having listened to it. Don't we love it when we just have a bit of calmness? So then, Tess and Matty Adam switching positions on the start. Matty got a decent launch, Tess just got an even better one, and then a bit of squishiness on the braking for Matty Adam. Just saw Tess able to take that position out of turn 1 into turn 2 and 3. And now disappearing down the road is a very, very scary thing to allow Tess to do, because you usually don't catch back up. Squidge 2017 in P3, just looking at Matty Adam right now, thinking his championship rival, his main championship rival right now, Tess, is just taking another 10 points out of him at this stage. Ray doing everything he can in P4. He's going to want to keep on the back of this train to just protect him a little bit from Djokovic. The question is, does Djokovic have the pure pace to stick with these in a race distance? Ray, very, very quick around here in qualifying. We'll see how that transitions to race pace. Kate's been given a 10-second time penalty, I believe, for speeding in the pit lane. Maybe a collision with Darren Stahl. Something will have happened between those two, you'd imagine, both coming in for a new front wing at the end of one. As here we go then, Matty round the outside of Tess, just has a little look, makes himself known. Tess goes deep into the corner. Matty not able to make anything of it, just making sure Tess knows that he is still there. So it's Tess, Matty and Squidge, the Hambot Ver of the league in some order or another, which is absolutely ridiculous how much the top 3 has broken away from each other. Here we go, Squidge has a good run on Matty Adam now, who seemingly doesn't have the best car in a straight line potentially, but leaves no room for Squidge to work with at all and stays P2. Ray remains at the back of this little train as Djokovic is doing everything he can, but he's just starting to fall off just a little bit, 0.8 of a second. It's a DRS train from first down to 7th. Now Mr. Wilco's just a couple attempts too far back to gain anything of that DRS, but that might be the race picture that we have. One big DRS train, potentially 3 quite big DRS zones, really gonna gain you a lot of time. As Raven is actually quite close to the back of Squidge 2017. If Squidge just tries something on Matty, Matty shuts the door on him, might leave Squidge vulnerable to attack from Ray shortly afterwards. Squidge will be aware as Matty tries something around the outside yet again, making himself known. Tess covers off the inside. And Marcus has retired from this race, and we have a virtual safety car incident at the braking zone. By the look of things, there's no points for Mercedes this evening then, unfortunately for him and them. What happened there to Marcus? Out in the braking zone after the first DRS straight. It's a bit of a weird place to DNF in. Right now then, we have a crucial virtual safety car restart on our hands. See, when everyone starts speeding up a little bit, as there we go, DRS enabled came at the best possible time for Tess, not really allowing anyone to get any sort of jump or run on him. And the race resumes as it got paused briefly there. 16 runners and riders remaining. I am quite interested to see what happened to Marcus actually, at the end of that race, or at the end of lap 3 would have been for him. So wait and see if we get a report from him. That'd be lovely, lovely. If we don't, we'll just have to keep speculating a little bit. Alright then, Ray, not really a fan of this restart. Currently 8 temps down on Squidge, needing to recover just a little bit. Get a brilliant run coming out of the final corner in Sector 1. Iva is just going to be able to open up the DRS flap, but has a recovery job to do. Right now, though, Matty once again gaining on Tess. Overtaking around here, though, not too easy by the look of things. He's tried the same thing 3 times now. Tess has been the wiser of the two on all 3 of those occasions, and now Ray has just broken back into, I was going to say, he has broken back into DRS range. See if he can get the rear wing open on this occasion. He should, which is going to be absolutely crucial for his survival, really, in this race. If he wants to battle for a podium or higher, you need that DRS in this situation. Crucial for him to get a good exit here. I think he's just managed to do it as well. So Ray at the moment dealing with the pressures, the sign of a very, very good driver in race situation as well. Not season start he would have wanted, but dealing with it perfectly. Tess, Matty and Squidge, order remains unchanged. Matty still pushing Tess around the first corner there by the look of things. So then this sector with both Tess and Matty has just struggled a little bit in qualifying, especially. The car just doesn't want to go left in that situation, but Tess now 7 tenths of an advantage as we get into the DRS zone. Just a bit better of the exit, maybe naturally quicker in a straight line. That Red Bull as well, hard to overtake. Seemingly very, very hard to overtake. Matty doesn't close in too much and is nowhere near being able to make a move. Djokovic now out of DRS range on Ray. Now we're gonna see how crucial that DRS is. 1.5 is Djokovic's gap. We've seen people fall out of DRS range before and just fall out of this race completely. So we'll see how much pace Tess, Matty and Squidge and Ray have now over Djokovic. How much he's going to be losing. Yellow flags. Recon is retired from this race in the 3rd sector. We have a safety car. Do we have a idea of what happened? No, we don't, but it's on the tight and twisty bit, potentially coming out of a chicane. You would imagine he just hit the wall there. Wildcat then is the lone survivor for Williams this Grand Prix, down to 15 runners after 5 laps, and Tess decides to pit immediately, doing a different strategy then. That would lock Tess onto a 2-stopper. You would imagine Matty and Squidge then, with the knowledge that they have and staying out with the safety car, are going for a 1-stopper. They'll have to drag this out to about lap 12 or 13, which with a safety car they might just be able to do. Tess surely now is locked into a 2-stop. He's not going to be able to do 23 laps on a set of hard tyres. Surely not. But quite a few people electing to pit. BT, Wigan, Wildcat, iWatts, Ron Speed and... sorry, not Kit and Darren. Everyone between BT and... oh, sorry, I believe Mr. Wilco might have also pitted there. Did he start on the hard tyres? No, he didn't. A lot of people electing to pit. You have the list down below you there. Everyone from Tess down to Darren deciding to pit on this occasion. Darren does pit as well, actually. 2nd stop of the race. Kit's the only one inside that bottom half who didn't pit during this safety car. He pitted a bit earlier for a new front wing. So then now it's a lot of hard tyres versus a few medium tyres. They haven't done too long, 5 laps, they'll still be worn down. And Tess stuck behind Holman and Ray. So now then, Ray is in a situation where he might be able to help his teammate out a little bit, whilst at the moment leaving him alone if he was to back everything up with Squidge 2017, which might not be overly beneficial. But surely this means a 2-stop strategy for Tess. Surely it doesn't mean he's trying to 1-stop. It does mean Matty, Squidge and Ray is trying to 1-stop. who came into the pit. No, what has Ray done? He's come into the pit lane at the end of lap 6. He's going to be last now, Ray. What has he done? For no real reason, onto hard tyres, sacrificing all that the first stint had given him. Unless he's seen an opening to maybe try to one-stop this, this might be one of the worst decisions strategy-wise I've seen, at least this season, maybe over the last few seasons. Such a brilliant start. Decides to pit not at the beginning of the safety car, but at the end of it, when everyone's backed up. Ray's now naturally down into P12. He'll be battling away for position with he's naturally behind iWatts, Wildcat, Wigan, BT. All of these drivers have been so clear of pace-wise this weekend. He's been clear of Djokovic and Noah as well, who's lapping a half a second faster than them by the time the safety car came out with the aid of that DRS. He's clear of Holman as well, who's now provisionally P3. What has gone on through Ray's head there, and maybe communicating with Matty as well? What is he trying to accomplish here? I really do not understand it. If anyone does have a little bit of insight, then please leave a comment, because I really do not understand that goal. So then, Darren now the only one not with the back of the pack. Darren, please close up immediately. Don't want safety car to be going on any longer than it has to. Unfortunately, went on for a prolonged period this time. Meanwhile, so I'm actually quite sure both Matty and Squidge are relatively happy with the safety car staying out another couple of laps. At the moment, safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap then. I don't understand that from Ray. Qualifying in P4, then after the safety cars come out, that's when you come into pit. Really, really weird decision, unless he and Matty together seen an opening to do something. But Ray's out of position now in 12th place, and is realistically not a part of the fight at the front for the rest of this race. Even if they saw an opportunity for him to do the same thing as Tess, what Tess and Djokovic are going to be trying to do, he is now a full 8 positions behind. He's a full 8 positions behind Tess. He's going to have to get by slow runners, because he will get by iWatts, Wildcat, Wiggins. It's only a matter of time. But they're going to slow him down. By the time he gets up there, Tess will be long gone. Djokovic and Noah might have checked out as well, along with Holman and Mr. Wilco. Especially the 2 leaders will have checked out by long as well. Plus Ray has absolutely tremendous pace on those hard tyres, in which case, then fair play to him. Alright then, so we expect the safety car in this lap any moment now, meaning Matty will assume control of the rest of the field. There we go. It's up to Matty to start controlling the pace of the grid, just slowing it down casually to the speed that he wants. And now then, everyone is going to bunch up. So everyone please sort that out. Remain single file formation and we will be set to go. Matty will be leading this restart from Squidge, Holman and Tess. Djokovic and Noah behind them. So when does Matty decide to go? You would imagine coming out of the final corner. Just goes a little bit afterwards. Squidge, not the best of restarts. That's going to leave him vulnerable to both Holman. And Holman is very, very vulnerable to Tess here, who's going to be doing everything to get by immediately, and he does. Down the inside, maybe. I don't think Holman is going to be able to fight that one. Goes wide and allows Djokovic down his inside as well. The 2 make contact. Holman spins around Djokovic. Djokovic lucky to not end up in anything there. From what I saw, pure racing incident, but that has set Holman's race back a long while. Virtual safety car just as the safety car ended. That might actually be a kindness to Holman. just allowing him to catch back up a little bit. Don't tell me that's a full safety car. Should be a virtual safety car. Matty then right now with an advantage over Squidge and Tess, and it's the kind of advantage that needs to build on. When is the race going green again is the question. As for the first time in a long time, I believe it's an unweather interrupted Miami Grand Prix. Okay, I think it's time to go racing again, game. Give us the green flags. And now you can see people start speeding up. That's usually a good indicator that it's time. Just gotta watch that. Just gotta watch those timers a little bit. Still not green. There we go, green. And everyone has been able to make that work. I believe Beatty's actually sent it down the inside of Wigan just as that happened. Wigan, 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Mr. Wilco. Curious to see how that happened. DRS is enabled then. At the end of lap 10, we have gone racing. Tess crucially past Holman straight on the restart. And now that strategy is maybe just looking a bit better for him. He is on brand new hard tyres versus slightly worn rubber for Matty and Squidge. They would be able to make a one-stop work under current conditions, unless we have another safety car, in which case everything will be flipped on its head. Run speed, 3-second time penalty, track limit warnings. If Wigan can now hold on to the end of the race, that penalty could be looked at after the race and potentially removed, but said 20 laps on a set of hard tyres, very, very difficult. But if he still has that penalty at the end of the game, it can be investigated. Run speed then, battling away with Kit for P10 at the moment, and I believe he might have just been able to pull that off. No, actually, Kit straight down the inside into the third sector again. So I was looking backwards, Kit was already in front of him, so I was a bit confused as to where he went. As Ray is now making quick work of a 33 beat. He's actually making this work quite well, Ray. Already by the cars that he needed to, but now has got to get by Noah and Djokovic relatively quickly in order to catch up with the rest of them. Tess and Squidge very much on the back of Matty. Squidge maybe down the inside. No, stays there. Tess might have just had a little look around the outside. Oh my god, if he pulls this off. It's new tyres versus old tyres, but congratulations to Tess for one of the moves of the season so far. Squidge just shut the door down the inside, and Tess thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go around the outside instead. Did so beautifully, and now Matty might be in a bit of trouble with Tess on brand new tyres and a car that's quite slippery in a straight line by the look of things. Maybe just looking to take a bit of time out of him. The question is, how well in check is Tess now going to be able to keep those hard tyres? When Matty and Squidge come in, they'll be about 20 seconds behind. Are they on new tyres going to be able to eat up that advantage? Crucial for Matty and Squidge now is not let Tess disappear too far down the road. If they lose DRS quite soon, they're in trouble. And they are going to lose DRS. They're absolutely going to lose it. The pace that Tess has deployed since the beginning of lap 10 is immense. Up from P4 to P1 in just 2 laps and almost a second ahead of Matty Adam by the time we get to the end of lap 11. He is a second ahead of Matty by the time we get to lap 11. To the end of lap 11, sorry. Jesus Christ. As Djokovic is now getting past Squidge as well. I believe Squidge might have had a little bit of a moment coming out of the final braking zone. And now Djokovic up into a podium place for the first time this season, I believe. And having completed his pit stop strategy, he's on the better tyres as well, it's worth remembering. So now let's see if we can follow Matty Adam through. Maybe try to do the same thing that Tess is doing, just a little bit differently. Noah doing the same strategy as well as Ray. Ray's on the back of Noah and Squidge at the moment, who might need to reevaluate their choices in strategy right now. because whatever Tess and Djokovic were doing clearly seemed to work quite well. Is Djokovic going to send it down the inside of Matty? Probably could have. Elects not to. Might be a bit silly from Djokovic not going for it, because at this section you just notice how much faster those new hard tyres are. However, probably elects to just go straight by him with DRS, knowing Matty and Squidge, they're going to have to stay out for probably another lap or two to make this strategy work. Safety car, less tyre wear as well, keep in mind on this stint, than they would have had originally. And now surely Djokovic, no, doesn't go for it. However, Squidge goes for it, crashes into the back of Djokovic. That allows Noah to take the position. Squidge, with no confidence on the braking, has to come into the pit lane, and now it's the recovery drive of lifetime potentially for Squidge 2017. Hard tyres will be going on. They are not much older than Tess. This is not the strategy that they were hoping for at all. And Squidge might now be forced into complete recovery mode. Matty might be forced to stay out, hoping for something to happen here. He is 3 seconds behind Tess already, and he is holding up the entire field right now. It's Matty Adam. And the willingness to stay out and try a one-stop might not be the best idea that they've ever had. Here we go. Djokovic needs to get by Matty Adam now. Looks like he's applying a little bit more this time. On the braking, I don't think Matty's going to be fighting it too hard. Now then, he's going to be able to park it between the Aston Martins, just stop the bleeding a little bit. He is, but right now Ray, whom I was immensely criticizing a moment ago, is de facto fighting for P2 in this race with Noah and Djokovic. So then Noah on Matt. He's going to try something bold down the inside. No, can't. He's just a bit too far back. Ray is just showing his nose cone there as well. So Ray now saying something interesting about Matty not pitting, that he hadn't got the full safety car message. Matty just locking up into the pit lane, just surviving that. New tyres going on then. Look very, very damaged, those medium tyres. Now surely those hards will take him to the end, but how well is that recovery going to go? Squidge is in absolute no man's land at the moment. Where is Matty in comparison to Squidge then? Far ahead of Squidge 2017, who will have had a problem on those hard tyres. Okay, race on. So let's see, Matty will have to massively outpace the entire field. Going up to Iwat is the end of the train ahead of him, if you see on the track map. And then it's another train between Djokovic, Noah, Ray and Abiti. So Abiti having a race of his season so far in Miami, as he usually does around here. Ray is flying along as well. So right now, Noah might just have to protect Djokovic a little bit, defending as hard as he can. Don't really think it's going to matter though, as Ray is almost past him by the time we get to the DRS detection line. By the time we get to the braking zone, he is far clear of Noah 48. Ray is up into a de facto podium position in the Miami Grand Prix, and now battling away for P2, which I believe would equal his best result in NEF1 to date. Djokovic then has a sniff of a podium as well. Tess is 5 seconds clear of the rest of the grid. Cy Watts is trying everything to hold up Ron Speed, Wigan, Darren and Mr. Wilco. So then, it's both the Hasses in the points at the moment, followed by Mr. Wilco. Holman still not having made his stop. He started on hard tyres. Needs to go onto the mediums quite soon. Matty's doing what he can to catch the back of that pack. Doing quite a decent job, but anything higher than a P6 here I find unlikely with him and to navigate this traffic. He'll get stuck in the DRS train quite soon, Matty. So then Noah and Ray squabbling around for position again, but Ray's going to have him back by the time we get into the final corner surely. And whilst this is going on, Djokovic just finds a bit of clear air out front, 1.1 seconds, but Tess is taking a second lap out of Djokovic. Tess, with a result like this at the moment, claiming a massive lead in the Drivers' Championship. Djokovic with a little bit of a moment there in Sector 1, but Ray and Noah's been squabbling so much it doesn't really matter. So then, Matty Adam now having joined the back of that little train. Let's see how he starts dealing with these cars. Ron Speed's first up in the Alpine. Matty's old, almost championship winning car by just a couple of points. Matty decides to throw it down inside of Ron Speed. Ron Speed reacts by going a little bit wide, and that's Matty up one place. Mr. Wilco up next is made from a while back. Let's see what Matty's gonna be able to do against him. No DR. Is that DRS for Mr. Wilco? Yes, it is. Who goes defensive? Is Matty gonna claim that place quite quickly? Chaos ahead of him. Both the Hasses out of formation there. Matty ahead of Mr. Wilco. Was he potentially off track when doing so? It would have been very, very close if nothing else. But Matty with that position done and dusted. Next up then is Darren Stahl. He might have actually have this train cleared quite quickly. Matty Adam. So then, two cars remaining. It's Wigan and Iwatts, both former teammates of his. And Wigan doesn't make it too hard. Squabbly exit, and Matty now only with one car remaining. A car who decides to go into the pit lane as well, and now Matty might actually be into contention for something higher than just squabbly points here. Squidge still at the back of this train though, and this is crucial. Gets stuck at the place where he doesn't want to be. Matty was able to clear all of this pack within a lap. It's an impressive showcase from Matty. Squidge might lose a lot of seconds on Matty here if he's not able to do the same. Matty already out of DRS sprint from Win and Darren. Crucial for him. Noah and Ray, the only real fight worth looking at the moment, battling hard away with each other for final podium place. Beat is fallen back. Currently running in the season best P5 worth 10 points. They'll be very, very happy with that. But as for the tyre comparison, let's just have a look. It's 11 lap old hard tyres for Tess versus 3 lap old hard tyres for Matty. Worth mentioning though is that those hard tyres that's done 11 laps, quite a few of them were done under safety car condition. And as we can see, Holman 16 lap old hard tyres at the moment. We might see a fall off from Tess, who goes into the pit lane now then. Okay, that was in the long stint on the hard tyres. You would imagine it's a new set of hard tyres going on for Tess. Or was that medium tyres potentially? What does he come out in relations to Matty? Matty with that pit stop, I might be a little bit too late as well. Matty will have to come out ahead of Tess in order to make a race out of this. Tess, hard tyres and out, clearly ahead. Matty now are going to struggle with catching back up to the Red Bull, who has executed a flawless two-stop here. Saw an opportunity to go for the box. The question now, Tess still has quite a job to do. Can Djokovic, Ray and Noah stick it out on a set of hard tyres? Is it worth Ray just gambling this, sticking it out on the set of hards, or what is he fighting for really this race? It's hard to know what anyone's fighting for with a strategy like this. And really is going to come to you towards the end of this race. Djokovic is right now leading by 1.8 seconds. We haven't seen the Swede on the top step of the podium since I believe season 8 in NEF1. So it's a long time ago. Djokovic's championship winning season as well. Came very, very close in season 9, final race of the season in Bahrain. Season 10, all he managed was 1 podium, and now win with a shot of victory here with 10 laps to go in Miami. Noah comes into the pit lane then, lap 19. Ray is now going to try to be chasing down Djokovic. Is he going to be staying out? And what is BT going to do in relations to Tess, who's quite quickly coming up behind him? It'll be crucial for Tess to clear that Racing Bulls relatively quickly. So then Tess on the back of the Racing Bulls at the exact right time. Now with DRS, is BT going to be able to defend this one? It's been a slippery evening for that Red Bull. We've seen him be very, very fast in conditions like this, and they fly straight past the Racing Bulls. Now, give or take about 7 seconds up to Ray and Djokovic. We're taking a bit of life out of those tyres, but he'll still arrive with them in much better shape than Ray and Djokovic. He'll battle through both of them. Right now, Tess is on pace to win this Grand Prix, unless anything, well, I hesitate to call it incredible, but maybe incredible happens. The question is, Djokovic and Ray, they've got to come into the pits on this lap, potentially before their window disappears. Djokovic does come in from the leader of the Grand Prix. That's got to be a bit tough, really, when you've run a race like they have, to come into the pit lane from the lead of the Grand Prix and from P2 as well for Ray. Tess, fast lap of the Grand Prix then, resumes the lead of the Grand Prix. Matty with P2. The everlasting second, unfortunately, this season for Matty Adam. Squidge quite far behind him in P3 and on now slightly older tyres than Djokovic and Noah. Now, is Djokovic going to be able to challenge Squidge? We'll wait and see. Medium tyres versus 7-lap-old hard tyres. Djokovic is going to have a window here to start attacking Squidge in the lap. The question is, are those medium tyres going to fall off to the extent that Squidge is able to get that position back at the end of the race? Or is Djokovic going to be able to drive his way up to a podium past the reigning NEF1 champion? Squidge right now losing 10 points on the championship leader. That could turn into 13 points quite quickly. Wait and see. Djokovic at the moment taking half a second out of Squidge on this lap, and he is going to be attacking. Noah on medium tyres as well. Ray on medium tyres. Squidge might actually have to watch out here if his hard tyres start falling off. They'll be 17 laps old by the time we get to the end of the race. Djokovic then flies down inside of Squidge 2017 and takes P3 of the race, and now it'll be hunting season for both Ray and Noah for a race that has not gone the way of Squidge 2017 one bit. Mistimed safety car, unfortunately, for both Matty and Squidge, so Tess able to capitalize on it, go into the pit lane. None of them did, and that has resulted in a 5.1 second lead with an additional pit stop, mind you, over Matty Adam, and a Red Bull driver who is commanding the championship and is commanding this race. Squidge is already dropping back from Djokovic. Ray is the next driver to try to have a go at the Ferrari. This is massive for the Constructors' Championship as well. Ray, who has been a little bit of the Achilles heel, unfortunately, for McLaren this season, when you're looking at the other second drivers of Jamar and Iwat. As there goes Ray down the inside of Squidge. Squidge is going to fight that one relatively hard, but in the end I think he's just going to have to budge. This is massive for Ray to have a rebound race in Miami like this, and still battling for the podium, have a 1.8 behind Djokovic now. Noah, is he going to be able to make work of Squidge as well then? Squidge is going to have a bit of time to rest, recover, and maybe have a go at them towards the end of the Grand Prix. Very, very open right now is this race. Wildcat, what has happened to him? He's 3 pit stops and 15 seconds down on everyone. He has had a rough start, A rough opening month to his NEF1 tenure. No points on the board yet, but the fastest lap point is still to play for should decide he wants to have a go at it at the end of the race. The Hasses were quickly down back to reality after running P7 and P8 there for a little bit, down to P12 and 13, still battling for points should things go right for them. iWatts right now occupying the final points paying position, that turned into P9 following the finish line. Run speed has a time penalty. That would promote Mr. Wilco up a place as well. So then, there goes Noah past Squidge 2017. Squidge down into P6 and into the single digits worth of points. Meanwhile, Tess is taking the full 25. And is he taking fastest lap as well? Just as an insult to injury? Yes, he is. So then, Djokovic at the moment driving beautifully. 1.7 ahead, 1.8 behind Matty Adam. Djokovic is catching Matty Adam by a little bit as well, so we'll see if he's able to gain anything by the time we get to the final few laps. But by that time, those medium tyres will have seen better days. Djokovic right now in with a sniff, really, of P2. He's going to take it. He's not interested in any sort of a close championship battle between Matty, Tess and Squidge. He wants to get involved himself. What a rebound after a tough start to the season for Djokovic. And now a tough opening 2 races. So he can come back strong, and now battling for his first podium of the year. To keep his podium streak alive with a podium finish in every season he's participated in any F1. Squidge then just managing to hang on to the back of Noah. Noah wasn't able to hang on to the back of Ray. We probably have a finishing order potentially. Djokovic is closing on Matty though. The gap was 1.8, is now 1.3, but Djokovic has got to mind those tyres as well and look behind because he's got a naturally faster Ray 25 coming up on him. And I'm sure Matty wouldn't mind just helping out a little bit in getting Ray up to that podium as well. So Djokovic has got to be very, very careful here as to how he plays this. So then it's beginning to bunch up. Right now, Djokovic needs the DRS on Matty as a defensive mechanism to defend against Ray. He's been catching him by almost 3-4 tenths of a second per lap over this last stint. I believe Matty's just now pulled away a little bit. So we'll see how Djokovic is able to play this race out. Wildcats up to 14th place then. Wigan 13th, Darren 12th. Wilco 11th. Run speed is trying to break clear of iWatts with that 3-second time penalty. And Mr. Wilco now past iWatts as well, so that's not going to aid any of them in the little quest against run speed. Luna not racing tonight, so run speed carrying the torch alone for Alpine then. But he gets another 3-second time penalty, and that might be race done for on speed, I'm afraid, in terms of chance of scoring points. Question is, who of these are going to be looking at a fastest lap point? Squidge 2017 now just trying to recover a little bit on Noah. The question is, are those mediums now then starting to fall off? Noah 5 seconds behind Ray, and Djokovic now after a little bit of squabbling. So P5 is all Squidge is going to be able to do this race, even if they have a massive turnaround. Ray decides to go for it from a long way back, and he just forces his way into that gap, and now ahead of Djokovic, loses on the podium place for the time being. Ray sent it down the inside. Djokovic gave him room, not really needing to at that stage, and Ray and Matty switches positions here late on in the Miami Grand Prix. Matty with the championship to think about, but is Ray in a potential state now where he can just build a gap and protect that P2? Djokovic has been left alone with Matty. That could be quite crucial for the McLarens. opting not to stick with each other. I believe having Ray in P3 would have been better for them defensively. Or do they just reckon there's a chance of victory for Ray here if Matty lets him go? It's a second per lap. We'll wait and see. Djokovic versus Matty now. This is an old battle. It's an old championship battle as well. Matty proving just slightly better on defense this time around, but Djokovic is going to have a couple of opportunities to go. Ray is catching Tess at the moment. 3.8 is the gap, and Tess is going to have to start just pushing a little bit because Ray is coming up to him. He's coming up relatively quick with a couple of laps to go. Might this just be Ray's first victory in the NEF1? Shall wait and see as Djokovic tries round the outside of Matty Adam. And I'm beginning to see why the McLarens made a call that they did indeed go side by side. Djokovic and Matty, and Djokovic is back up into a podium place briefly. Matty's going to have attacking DRS on him. Djokovic is going to have the inside line, but it doesn't matter this time around. Djokovic is going to have to play this patient. Ray, 3 seconds now is the gap to Tess. That was 4.5 by the time they made the switch 1 lap ago, and we might have a battle for the lead. Tess now going to be put under a bit of pressure here. We'll wait and see how Ray responds. He's going to be pushing like a madman to even get up, and then getting past. Another different story. Djokovic and Matty round 2 then. Are we now getting into a territory where that hard tyre is on an equal playing field with the medium potentially? 6 lap old Djokovic's medium tyre versus 12 laps on Matty's hard. Are they going to fall off either of them before the end of the race? 3.4 seconds. The progress has halted somewhat for Ray W25, meaning he'll have to catch by over a second lap plus the overtake. But letting Ray go was probably the right decision in hindsight for his race at least. As for Matty's race, that remains to be seen. He locks up a little bit under pressure from Djokovic now. Wait and see. The medium tyres falling off quite quickly. We'll wait and see how they start to operate. Squidge on that hard tyre as well is going to give us an indicator when he starts attacking Noah now on what tyre is the one to be on. Now Tess has started to take time back out of Ray. The gap from 3.1 to 3.5, and I believe I may have announced the battle for the lead prematurely because Tess has decided to pull away. Apologies about that, just coming down with a little bit of a cold and non-stop talking does wonders to your voice. Here we go then, Djokovic versus Matty Adam for the third to last time you would imagine around this particular straight. Djokovic just has nothing to offer up at the moment on Matty, and Squidge has been able to get past Noah as well. Has that medium tyre seen its best days is the question. Does it fall off that quickly? Djokovic is able to follow Matty quite closely now. With DRS down this massive straight though, we didn't want DRS to activate now almost in order to make more use of it. Djokovic then, he's gaining but not nearly by enough by the time Matty's red light starts flashing to indicate he is harvesting more energy to defend on the next straight. This might be Djokovic's chance into turn 1. Matty's not brilliant coming out of a track position right now, might be crucial. Is it worth a send from Djokovic? Pulls to the inside, tries to get Matty to go defensive, he doesn't. Right now, Matty remains in P3, Djokovic P4, just chasing the podium that has been eluding him over the last few months even, since his only podium in season 10. As yellow flags in Sector 1, I believe we've had something go down with Mr. Wilco potentially. Oh, that'd be Holman and Ron Speed, sorry. As Djokovic 5/10 back now on Matty Adam, unable to pull anything off. We have a lap and a half remaining as I'm getting slightly patriotic, almost wanting Djokovic, as the unbiased commentator, to get that podium from a nostalgia perspective as well. It is crucial for Matty to get the podium for his confidence levels and the championship going forward. Crucial for both of these drivers in a way that's hard to imagine if you don't race yourself. Wiggins had a problem through Sector 1. Is Darren potentially on the road to points? I believe he's just too far back in order to make something work. Now then, Djokovic, has he figured out that into turn 1 is his chance? Matty has figured out that's his weakness, if nothing else. I believe he's just saved up a little bit to go defensive into turn 1 if need be. Race within 3 seconds of Tess, but it's not going to matter on this time around unless Tess does something incredibly silly, like pick himself up a penalty on the last lap, which really doesn't need to. Djokovic will only have 1 or 2 more goes at this, down both DRS straights. Now it's all on Matty to not make a mistake. Does Djokovic maybe just have a track limits warning left that he can use? Does Matty have one left that he can use? Here we go then. Matty versus Djokovic for the last time, and Djokovic is closer to Matty this time around. The question is it worth battery dumping everything on this straight for track position? Matty just recovering everything so well. Djokovic can't get anywhere near him, and now it's got to happen on the next DRS straight. For a brief moment there, we thought that Ray was going to be able to fight Tess for the win of this Grand Prix. It wasn't quite able, but the medium tyres were the better tyres for quite a period of time here, as we are coming up to the final moment of overtaking. Maybe for Djokovic, he's going to have to go crazy with a send into the final corner, but he's gaining. Matty is dropping back. Is Djokovic going to send one down the inside with the better grip? He maybe could have. Matty locks up in the braking. Tess wins the race. Ray is going to come home a comfortable P2 in the end. Matty just holds off Djokovic by the end. Another lap, and Djokovic might have had him. But Matty Adam takes the podium from Djokovic, and Squidge in P5 with an alright recovery. Noah finishes in 6th. Beatty comes through a season best finish of 7th place. Ron Speed, as Djokovic has left the session, that's not brilliant at all. Ron Speed finishes P7 in the end. Goes down to P9, Holman in 7th, Iwat in 8th, Ron Speed in 9th, and Wilco in 10th. Darren finishes in 11th place by the time we get to the flag. Wigan in 12th. When he will come across the line, it'll take a little bit of time. As for the fastest lap, it does go to Tess as well. So it's a Tess, Ray, Matty, Squidge, Noah top 5. So, and there we go, Tess wins yet another race this season. We have our first double podium of the season. It is the McLaren boys on Ray and Matty. Ray finishing ahead of Matty this time around. For his first podium of the season, well done to him. Ray, first podium of the year. Matty just coming across there for P3. With Squidge in P4 and Noah in P5 in the end. So then, fastest lap to Tess as well. Driver of the day, potentially Beatty might be a shout. I'll have to look at that after the race. I was picking up an extra couple of points for Red Bull there, as he always does as well. Red Bull looking very, very good in the Constructors' fight now that JMR wasn't here to pick up anything this week either. Wilco with a point in P10 for Sauber, Holman as well. As for A33 Beatty, crucial points haul, 8 points going back to Racing Bulls. As for his teammate, wasn't able to get too much done. Right then, that will be it for NEF1 this year before we go on a little bit of a season break. 2 weeks out then from the next race. I'm going to give you the rundown. Next time out, we are heading to Canada for round 5 of the championship. That will be on January 5th, as we are going on a break over the holidays. None of us wanted to do admin meetings on either New Year's Eve or Christmas Day, so we are just taking a little bit of time off. I hope you all understand. Alright then, until next time out in a couple of weeks' time, thank you very, very much for watching this rendition of NEF1. We'll be right back after New Year's Eve. Thank you very much to everyone watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we'll see you very, very soon. Stay safe, and peace out.